Aloha! Are you planning to move to Hawaii? Or are you planning to invest in Hawaii? Or are you just dreaming about having a coffee next to the ocean? If so, I would like to share with you the pros and cons of living in Waikiki. If you're considering moving to Waikiki, I made this video for you. I am originally from Europe and I moved to Hawaii 18 years ago. So, if you are thinking about moving to Hawaii but you are unsure or scared or you don't know who to call to get more information, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help. My contact info is in the description below. You can call me, text me, email me. I'm here to help and make your move to Hawaii as smooth and stress-free as possible. And if you haven't met me, I'm Daisy and I'm a local realtor here in Hawaii, and I help people just like you make their move here. So with this video, I wanted to give you my intake as a foreigner, what it's like to live in Waikiki. And so that's why I named it Pros and Cons in Waikiki. And I hope you find the information valuable. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave a comment below. And are you ready to hear my intake on the pros and cons? Okay, so the great thing, first of all, what I think is the best thing about Waikiki is walkability. Everything is nearby. You don't need to have a car. You can go to the beach, you can grab a coffee, you can have a lunch, you can go to work, you can meet with friends. You don't need a car. Everything is nearby. So on the other hand though, if you do have a car, that could be a challenge. Street parking is limited. Most of the parking is metered. There is some free parking on Alawai, but on Alawai Boulevard, there is like a street cleaning on Mondays and Friday, so there is no parking until 11:30 in the morning. So keep that in mind. And the metered parking in Waikiki is limited for a couple of hours most of the time, so also keep that in mind. And if you are moving to Waikiki, most of the places come with only one parking. And I know in the mainland, parking stalls are very spacious. In Hawaii, most of the buildings, especially in Waikiki, the parking stalls are very tiny and the buildings have low clearance. So, for example, my experience, I used to drive an SUV. And I work primarily in Waikiki and I have to show my clients condos in Waikiki. I really had hard time parking my car and I bumped it a couple of times and I was like, I can't do this. Apparently I'm not a good driver and I can't park my car very well. But for me, for example, parking is a challenge. So I have to buy a small car. I also have a client who moved from Texas and he had a huge truck and the building had a low clearance. So even though his building came with parking, he have to find a paid parking that was an open lot. So keep that in mind. Great thing about Waikiki is if you work in Waikiki, it's a great place to live. It is nearby. You don't have to drive to work. And also Hawaii has really one of the worst traffics in America. And if you live in Waikiki and if you work there, you don't have to beat the traffic. So that's a great thing about living here. You can find anything in Waikiki. You can shop, you can dine, you can go for a hike, you can go for a jog, you can go bike, you can go to the beach. So Waikiki offers city life and at the same time beach life. So I like that a lot. It's like a beach town, but at the same time it's a lot of things to do, many places to visit, so it doesn't feel boring. There are many shows that you can visit. There is Blue Note. They're famous for bringing concerts to Hawaii, such as stand-up comedians as well. Also, Cirque du Soleil They brought their show REAL Waikiki, and if you are coming into town when they are performing, I definitely recommend you checking the REAL Waikiki. It's a heartbreaking. I felt uplifted and I felt just happy. Hawaii is expensive. Waikiki is part of Hawaii, so it's expensive. So just be prepared to pay for a higher prices. For grocery, for shopping, for rent, for real estate. For example, in 2024, the median price for condo in Waikiki was $450,000. Also, something to keep in mind, people on the mainland are used to large spacious homes, maybe 2,000, 3,000 or more square foot. In Waikiki, condos tend to be smaller. It's normal to live in a 600 square foot apartment. So keep that in mind. And if you rent or buy, not all of the condominiums are pet friendly. Also, if you're bringing a pet in Hawaii, check out the requirements, how to bring a pet, because there is quarantine or you have to have a certain doctor's note. So if you bring in a pet, make sure you check the requirements. So if you're bringing a pet to Hawaii, let me know and I can give you a list of pet-friendly condominiums. That will definitely make the search easier. So even though Waikiki is a major tourist destination, it has a feel of community. Many of the residents in the high-rises condominiums, they've been living there for years. So when you go there, you see the same faces, you see the same people, you say hi, are genuinely happy. People are genuinely friendly. So it's easier to make friends. It's easy to get acquainted to people. And for example, I came to Hawaii without knowing anybody, and it was easy to make friends and get to know people. On the downside, Hawaii is a transient place. People come and go, especially there's a lot of military people. So after 3-4 years, they have to leave. And when you make friends, those friends leave, unfortunately. Some people just go back home to their family. Some people just have to relocate for work. Whatever the case is, if you have like a strong connection with somebody, it might not be for long, but you can just go and visit them. For example, I have a very good friend from Romania. She used to live here. She went back home and she's coming to visit me in a week. So you can still keep those connections with people that they move out of Hawaii. Great thing about Waikiki is the convenience, like I mentioned before, and the convenience of Waikiki is the ABC store. So when I first came here, I was surprised to see ABC store in every corner. I was, what? So I made a research and there are actually 36 ABC stores in Waikiki. So they're literally in every corner. The great thing about that is the convenience. So if you forget something like a sunscreen, or if you need a lunch to grab something, a bite to eat, or you need to buy souvenirs for your friends back home, ABC store has it all. So it's very convenient. Also, there is Target in Waikiki, so I know shopping is very expensive, but Target makes it a little bit more affordable and convenient. And of course, there is Ross Store, Nordstrom Rack. So they're not just high-end shopping like Louis Vuitton and Chanel. Another great thing about living in Waikiki, if you have kids, there are a couple of schools here in Waikiki. There is a preschool in the Waikiki Community Center, and there is elementary school as well. So for example, I have clients who had kids and they moved very close to their preschool, only a couple of blocks away. So what she does is takes the kids to the school in the morning and then just goes to the beach and jumps in the water. Isn't it awesome? Because the beach is right there. So it's convenient, isn't it? And personally, my experience about Waikiki, when I first came to Hawaii, I lived next to the stadium. I lived in Pro City area, and it is very residential. It's a house next to a house. There was nothing around. Of course, you have to drive everywhere, go to the area shopping center or to Pearl Ridge Mall. But nothing was, at least where I lived, nothing was walking distance to me. And when I first came to Hawaii, I was like, that's not Hawaii. That's not what I envisioned Hawaii to be. I envisioned Hawaii, palm trees, beach, mountains, greenery, and I just didn't imagine just a residential area with streets, with just house next to a house. That's why I also like Waikiki, because Waikiki is exactly what I envisioned Hawaii to be. It's the beaches right there, shopping, dining, everything is around you nearby. So it feels like you really live in paradise. And of course, Kapiolani Park is right next to Waikiki. So if you want to have a romantic picnic date or bring the kids or do some kind of sports activity, Kapiolani Park is perfect for it. Right now I'm Kapiolani Park, and this is a picnic table, and there is a stage, and sometimes they do have some performances. They do have some fairs as well. When I moved to Waikiki, actually, because when I first came to Hawaii, I lived in Pearl City area. But when I moved to Waikiki, I was going to the Hilton Hawaiian Village every Friday to watch the fireworks. I really enjoyed it, and it's very festive. The fireworks don't last too long, maybe 5-10 minutes, but it's still a great experience. So a big, I would say, con of living in Waikiki, it can be crowded. Sometimes during the summer months, when kids are out of school, there's a lot of families with kids. The hotels are very high occupancy rate, sometimes 90-100%. So walking on the streets could feel a little bit overcrowded. And there are some ambulances passing by, and you can hear the noise from the cars, from the traffic. And I always say to tourists that visit here Hawaii, the reason this is the tourist area is because it's one of the driest areas on the island. If you go, for example, Kaneohe, it rains there a lot. So if you're a tourist and you come here for a couple of weeks or a week, you want to have a great weather and you just enjoy the beach, right? So Waikiki's weather is perfect. It doesn't rain as much as other parts of the island. For example, if you're like in Manoa, it rains there a lot. That's why Manoa is so lush and green. But if you don't miss the rain and you want sunshine the whole day long, Waikiki is a great choice for you. That was my intake on the pros and cons of living in Waikiki. So what do you guys think? Did you find the information valuable? If so, leave a comment below. And if you're moving to Hawaii, Waikiki, and you need to know what it's like to live here, you need some guidance, need some help, like I mentioned, pet-friendly buildings, for example, or certain neighborhoods you're unsure where to live, let me know. Call me, text me, email me. I'm here to help. My contact info is in the description below. And if you like this video, please show your support, like this video, and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to post more videos like this one. And if you have any question on a certain topic you would like to see in my future videos, let me know. Aloha and mahalo for watching. Thank you.